Let's start it without first news. Diego Lopes has made it very clear that he has unfinished business with former featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski. Following his thrilling victory over John Silva, Lopes wasted no time in calling out the Australian star, hoping to secure a rematch that fans would love to see. While it initially appeared that veteran fighter Lauren Murphy might be next in line, Lopes has been consistent and relentless in keeping Volkanovski's name on his radar. During his recent appearance on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, the Brazilian featherweight doubled down on his challenge, once again addressing the former champion directly. "I think there's a real chance I get to fight him," Lopes said confidently. "People love to watch me fight. Whether I win or lose, they love to watch me. And right now, in the top 5 of the division, the most exciting fight for Volkanovski is against me." Lopes didn't stop there. He sent a direct message to Volkanovski, urging him to give him another shot. "Volk, let's do this again. I'm a better fighter than I was the last time. I've been waiting for this rematch, and I know I can give you a war." The Brazilian featherweight has gained a reputation for being not only a dangerous opponent but also one of the most entertaining fighters in the UFC. His aggressive style, combined with his fearless willingness to stand toe-to-toe with anyone, has made him a fan favorite. That excitement, Lopes believes, makes him the perfect matchup for Volkanovski's return. Interestingly, Lopes also addressed one of the more unusual viral moments from his recent fight night, the incident where he projectile vomited backstage during a post-fight interview. He explained the situation, saying it was purely due to adrenaline and hydration. "The adrenaline was crazy. I was so happy after the fight. I went backstage asking for Gatorade, Coke, or even water, and I drank it way too fast. That's all it was." Despite the victory, Lopes wasn't entirely satisfied with his performance. He admitted that while he was happy as a fighter, the perfectionist in him knew there was still work to be done. "As a coach, I know I'm not 100% happy with how I performed. I need to show more, I need to do better. But as a fighter, I'm happy, bro. A win is a win, and the fans enjoyed it." Meanwhile, Alexander Volkanovski hasn't officially announced his next move. However, the former featherweight king was recently spotted training with Mauricio Hufi, working on both striking and grappling at Essence Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. This has only fueled speculation about his return and who might be standing across the cage from him. Whether or not the UFC decides to book Lopes against Volkanovski again, one thing is clear: Diego Lopes is determined to earn that rematch. He believes his style, his improvements, and his excitement factor make him the best option for Volkanovski's comeback fight. For fans, the possibility of a high-paced, all-action showdown between these two warriors would be nothing short of electrifying. Before moving on to the next news, we have a quick request for you. We're always working to improve our content and truly value your support. If you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon, it would mean a lot to us. That way, you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. The UFC bantamweight champion Merab Dvalishvili has given fans and fighters alike his perspective on what it might take to defeat one of the most feared men in mixed martial arts today, Khamzat Chimaev. Right now, both Dvalishvili and Chimaev stand as two of the most exciting fighters in the sport. Merab is preparing to defend his bantamweight strap for the third time at UFC 320, while Khamzat is still riding high after his emphatic victory over Dricus du Plessis, a performance that crowned him the new UFC middleweight champion. With both men thriving at the top of their respective divisions, the idea of how to solve the puzzle that is Khamzat has become a hot topic among fans and fighters. Chimaev's style is well known to MMA enthusiasts. Nicknamed Boars, he overwhelms his opponents with relentless pressure. His wrestling-heavy approach smothers fighters, often making them appear helpless inside the octagon. From the opening bell, Chimaev closes distance quickly, forces the clinch, and uses his immense strength and technical grappling to dictate where the fight goes. More often than not, this suffocating pace leads to dominant victories and finishes that make him look nearly untouchable. However, according to Merab Dvalishvili, there is a way to at least neutralize some of that dominance, and it starts with preparation, patience, and cardio. In a recent interview, the Georgian champion broke down what he believes to be the key factors in challenging Chimaev's style. First of all, Merab explained, "You cannot panic when he comes forward. That's what Khamzat wants. He wants you to break mentally before he even gets the takedown. You have to stay calm, defend smart, and not waste your energy in the first exchanges." Dvalishvili emphasized that one of the biggest mistakes fighters make against Chimaev is allowing themselves to be overwhelmed too early. Instead of trying to force big moments, Merab believes opponents need to focus on conserving energy and dragging Chimaev into deeper waters. The key is cardio, Merab continued. He's very strong, very explosive, but that kind of pressure, nobody can keep it forever. If you can survive the storm, make him work, and keep moving, then later in the fight, opportunities will come. But you must believe in your conditioning, or else he will break you. The bantamweight king also pointed out that composure and defensive discipline are crucial. Chimaev thrives when fighters panic and give up easy positions. According to Merab, a fighter must accept that they will likely be taken down but focus on getting back up without expending unnecessary energy. Don't get discouraged, he said. He will take you down, but you have to keep getting up. Every time you get up, you make him work harder. Slowly, you take away his power, and then the fight changes. As Merab prepares for his own title defense at UFC 320, his analysis of Chimaev sheds light on the kind of mindset and skill set necessary to challenge the middleweight juggernaut. Whether anyone in the division can actually execute such a strategy remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, Merab Dvalishvili knows what it takes to deal with relentless pressure. After all, his own style is built around pace, conditioning, and breaking opponents mentally. For now, Khamzat Chimaev reigns supreme at middleweight, but according to Dvalishvili, the path to victory against Boers is there. It just requires iron will, elite cardio, and unshakable composure. Move on to another news. As UFC 320 draws near, fans around the globe are buzzing with excitement over a stacked card that promises action, drama, and defining moments for multiple divisions. Heavyweight star and interim champion Tom Aspinall has joined the conversation, offering his fight predictions for the highly anticipated event. While Aspinall respects every fighter stepping into the cage, he isn't shy about making bold calls, most notably his belief that Magomed Ankalaev will once again defeat Alex Pereira in their rematch. "I'm Tom Aspinall, and these are my UFC 320 predictions," he said confidently as he broke down each fight. Abus Magomedov vs. Joe Puffer. Starting off with a middleweight clash, Aspinall leaned towards rising contender Joe Puffer. Known for his knockout power and aggressive style, Puffer has quickly made a name for himself as a dangerous finisher. Aspinall believes that edge will shine through Joe Puffer by knockout, he predicted, keeping his pick short and decisive. Josh Emmett vs. Yusuf Zalal. In a featherweight showdown, UFC veteran Josh Emmett takes on the younger, dynamic Yusuf Zalal. While Zalal has been gaining momentum with his athleticism and speed, Aspinall is siding with the experience and knockout power of Emmett. Josh Emmett by knockout, he declared, noting that Emmett's heavy hands have always been a difference maker in big fights. Yuri Prochazka vs. Khalil Rountree Jr. One of the most intriguing matchups on the card is former light heavyweight champion Yuri Prochazka against the ever-dangerous Khalil Rountree Jr. Prochazka's unorthodox striking and relentless pressure are matched against Rountree's devastating Muay Thai power. Aspinall admitted this was a tough one to call. "That's a tough fight," he admitted, before finally leaning toward Prochazka. "I would say Yuri by decision." Merab Dvalishvili vs. Corey Sandhagen. Perhaps one of the most anticipated fights of UFC 320, bantamweight champion Merab Dvalishvili defends his title against elite striker Corey Sandhagen. Both men are known for their relentless pace, technical skill, and ability to outlast opponents. While Aspinall clearly respects Sandhagen, he acknowledged the immense challenge that Merab brings to the cage. "Don't want to pick against my guy Corey Sandhagen because I think he's very good," Aspinall said honestly. "But I think Merab is unstoppable right now." Magomed Ankalaev vs. Alex Pereira. Finally, Aspinall gave his thoughts on the co-main event, a massive light heavyweight title fight between Magomed Ankalaev and Alex Pereira. Their previous meeting ended with Ankalaev asserting his dominance, and Aspinall sees history repeating itself. "Tough fight, but I think Ankalaev is going to do it again," he predicted. For Aspinall, Ankalaev's well-rounded game, disciplined striking, and ability to control distance give him the tools to neutralize Pereira's knockout power. While Pereira remains one of the most feared strikers in UFC history, Aspinall believes Ankalaev has the composure and technical skill to shut him down once again. With these predictions, Tom Aspinall has added even more fuel to the fire of anticipation surrounding UFC 320. Fans are now left to wonder, will his picks prove prophetic, or will the unpredictable nature of mixed martial arts once again shock the world? Move on to another news. In an unfortunate turn of events, the highly anticipated matchup between Artem Lobov and Zubaira Tukhugov, scheduled for Friday's PFL Road to Dubai Champion Series card, has officially been cancelled. The Professional Fighters League (PFL) confirmed the news on X, citing an injury sustained by Lobov during his final training sessions. Lobov later took to Instagram to explain what happened, offering fans a detailed account of how an accidental clash of heads during grappling left him with a severe cut above his eye, an injury that doctors quickly deemed too dangerous to allow him to compete. "Hello everyone," Lobov began. "Last night during training, I suffered an accidental clash of heads that opened a cut above my eye. I was preparing for a fight that I knew would involve a lot of grappling and takedown defense, so my team and I were focusing heavily on those aspects. We even started from the ground during practice to avoid injuries. Everything was going well, I felt strong, full of power, and my weight cut wasn't an issue this time. But unfortunately, accidents happen in this sport, and as soon as the clash happened, I saw blood everywhere." Lobov explained that he immediately covered the wound, rushed to his room, and contacted PFL officials. A doctor was quickly brought in to examine the injury, but the verdict was swift and absolute. "As soon as the doctor saw it, he said there was no way I could fight with a cut like that. It was deep, very bad, and not just a straight line, it had what he called a flap. I have a lot of scar tissue on my face from bare-knuckle boxing and years of fighting, which made the injury worse. He simply couldn't clear me to fight." The cancellation marks a frustrating moment for Lobov, who emphasized that he has never been the kind of fighter to pull out of a bout. "I've fought through every kind of injury, torn ligaments, broken hands, fevers, even while on antibiotics. I've always stepped into the cage. This is the first time I've ever been forced out, and it was completely out of my control. The doctor made the final call, and I had no choice but to accept it." In his message, Lobov also took time to apologize to his opponent, Zubaira Tukhugov, as well as to PFL and the fans eagerly awaiting the fight. "I want to sincerely apologize to Zubaira and his team. I know how terrible it feels to have a fight taken away during fight week. I also want to apologize to PFL and, most importantly, to the fans who were looking forward to this matchup. I share your disappointment. This fight is a must, and I hope we can reschedule it soon. The world wants to see it, and so do I." Despite the setback, Lobov promised that once the fight is rescheduled, he intends to make it an unforgettable war inside the cage. "When we finally meet, I promise it will be an absolute bloodbath. It's going to be a war, and everyone will get the show they've been waiting for." With Lobov sidelined, PFL has yet to announce how the cancellation will impact Friday's card. However, both the promotion and fans remain hopeful that Lobov vs Tukhugov can be rebooked in the near future, ensuring that this grudge match doesn't fade away. Move on to another news. Conor McGregor, one of the most polarizing and influential figures in mixed martial arts history, has once again found himself at the center of attention. Recently, the former UFC featherweight and lightweight champion was left disappointed after the UFC declined his request for a fight on short notice. The Irish superstar, who has been eagerly seeking a return to the octagon, was hopeful of stepping back into action sooner rather than later. However, the promotion ultimately shut down the idea, forcing McGregor to rethink his immediate fighting future. This denial adds another twist to McGregor's complicated comeback journey. Fans have been eagerly waiting to see him compete again after a string of injuries and setbacks, but timing has become a major factor. McGregor, always a fighter willing to make bold moves, appeared eager to take on the challenge without a full training camp, hoping to remind the world of the dangerous competitor who once stormed 2 divisions and captured UFC gold in historic fashion. Yet, McGregor's fighting ambitions are no longer limited to the UFC. Beyond the octagon, the Notorious has been openly expressing his desire to fight under the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship (BKFC) banner. His connection with the promotion runs deeper than just competition. He was officially announced as a part owner of BKFC back in April of last year. Ever since then, the Irishman has been vocal about bringing his star power to the organization, signaling that it may be only a matter of time before he tests himself in bare-knuckle combat. For McGregor, the BKFC venture is more than just a business opportunity. It is a chance to reinvent himself in a raw, unfiltered form of combat. His passion for fighting has never been questioned, but since his blockbuster boxing match against Floyd Mayweather in 2017, which earned him hundreds of millions of dollars, skeptics have often questioned his true motivation to keep competing. The financial security he gained from that bout is unparalleled in combat sports, leading some to wonder if McGregor's hunger has diminished. However, his actions over the past few years suggest otherwise. Despite setbacks, including injuries and defeats inside the octagon, McGregor continues to pursue big fights and moments that capture the imagination of the sporting world. His request to fight on short notice against UFC opposition further proves that the fire to compete still burns within him. While the UFC may have denied him this opportunity, his persistence distance indicates that fans have not seen the last of him in the cage. The prospect of McGregor competing in BKFC adds another layer of intrigue. With his part ownership role, stepping into a bare-knuckle ring could be both a promotional and personal statement. For someone who thrives on shock value and monumental moments, it would not be surprising if McGregor eventually makes that crossover. For now, McGregor's immediate UFC return remains uncertain, but what is clear is that he remains determined to compete at the highest level. Whether it's inside the octagon or in a bare-knuckle ring, Conor McGregor's fighting spirit continues to keep the world watching, waiting for the next chapter of his unpredictable career. Move on to another news. Dana White has officially pulled back the curtain on his long-anticipated boxing project, and it's every bit as ambitious as fans expected. The UFC CEO has announced that Zuffa boxing is officially underway, with a landmark 5-year broadcast deal signed with Paramount. The first event is scheduled to take place in January, setting the stage for what White promises will be a massive shift in the boxing world. White has never been shy about his criticism of the current state of boxing, often pointing to outdated structures and fractured sanctioning bodies as barriers that have limited the sport's growth. With Zuffa boxing, he intends to bring a new vision, one rooted in modernization, innovation, and streamlined structure. In an interview with CBS Sports, White revealed early details about the promotion's direction. He confirmed that Zuffa is already developing a new boxing ring design, emphasizing that this will not just be cosmetic but a fundamental change aimed at enhancing both the fighter and fan experience. According to White, his team recently held a major design meeting dedicated to reimagining the boxing ring from the ground up. "We're going to start from scratch," White explained. "We're already working on a new design for the ring. Yes, we'll bring a lot of different elements to the production and the sport itself, and possibly even rule changes. I wouldn't rule that out. The key is to think bigger, to modernize, and to give fighters and fans something better." While acknowledging the importance of the Muhammad Ali Act, which was introduced to protect fighters' rights, White said there will be no changes to the act itself. However, Zuffa boxing plans to add new measures that expand on its framework. Fighters will have the choice: compete under the traditional Ali Act model, or opt into Zuffa's updated version that White insists will create more opportunity and growth. "The Ali Act was created with good intentions," White said, "but I think it's held the business back. They don't think big enough. I think much bigger than any of them do, no matter how badly they want to compete with me." In another interview with Inside Ring, White revealed one of the most radical changes Zuffa boxing will bring. The promotion will only recognize 2 titles, the Zuffa Championship belt and the Ring Magazine belt. This means the organization will not acknowledge any of the dozens of belts currently offered by existing sanctioning bodies. This is a direct response to the long-standing criticism that boxing titles have become diluted, confusing, and over-commercialized. White intends to streamline championships, making them easier for fans to follow while increasing their prestige. "Yes, there will be a Zuffa belt and a ring belt," White confirmed. "I will not recognize any of the other sanctioning bodies. Fighters deserve clarity, and fans deserve to know exactly who the real champions are." The move signals an attempt to revolutionize boxing much in the same way the UFC reshaped mixed martial arts under White's leadership. By eliminating clutter, focusing on fighter pay and transparency, and enhancing production, Zuffa boxing could provide the shake-up the sport has needed for decades. With Paramount on board for distribution, Dana White's vision already has mainstream backing. If the January debut delivers, fans may be witnessing the beginning of a new golden era in boxing, one built under the Zuffa banner.